Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Street Champs. Today we got IFBB Pro, owner of Tripp Fit Training, Jordan Tripp in the house tonight. How you doing, bro?
Not bad, man. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm excited to have you on. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate this.
Of course, man. So tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Like you said, I am the owner of Tripp Fit Training, IFBB Pro, Professional Bodybuilder. I'm from here. I'm from Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado. Born and raised. I've been a couple different places growing up, but I always find myself coming back here to Pueblo. All my life I played sports, football, basketball, track. I went to college for football, and then from football in college, I think it was my last year. I was 22 years old, my senior year. After football, I was just trying to kind of figure it out. Mm-hmm. I kind of went through the phase of partying, going to bars, hanging out, fighting, doing that kind of thing. And then at 22, I found out that my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, was pregnant. So it was kind of a transition in time for me. I was, getting my last year of football, which, I had football in my life pretty much forever, from the time I was 5 years old. And then find out the news that I was getting ready to be a dad. Mm-hmm. Was kind of crazy. I mean, I didn't really understand what I was gonna do. It was kind of terrifying, but it was all a transitioning time for me in my life. And at a young age, 22 years old, I hadn't really done anything but experience college and playing sports all my life. Mm-hmm. But I knew I needed to kind of figure something out. So kind of fast forward, I guess. You always have a physical for college sports, and I had a physical coming up. It's been a while since I've been to the doctor, and I just took it. I don't even know why. I just decided to go to the doctor. And when I went there, the doc was like, "Man, you've gained like 45 pounds. Your blood pressure is really high." So I kind of freaked out. I had a son on the way. I was hearing for the first time that I wasn't really in good shape. And if you've heard forever, high blood pressure is the silent killer. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really have a bad issue of that in my family, but you hear about it a lot of times that it's hereditary. And being in sports and having high blood pressure is kind of crazy, especially in college sports where it's 24/7. All the time. You're always working out. You're always doing something physical. So I think what it was mainly is that, you took that aspect out of my life. I wasn't as active, but, I didn't really pay attention to a diet. I was in college, I ate whatever was available, whatever was cheap. And I think those things just kind of caught up with me. Yeah. But on top of it, having a kid coming into the world here soon, it freaked me out. I didn't like the fact that, I was going to have some type of, health problem. It was a health scare, but they were also wanting me to be on some type of medication. So, I mean, shortly after that, I decided like I'm gonna change some things up. Mm-hmm. Again, like I told you, I didn't have football, so having to be scheduled to be at a workout or practice or some type of something, I needed to try to figure that out. So that was tough, especially when you didn't have somebody telling you how to do it. Mm-hmm. So. And shortly after that, I just decided, like, I'm gonna lose this weight. I'm gonna lose the weight before my child comes. And I think at the time I was about 240 pounds almost. I played ball around 200, 205. So, I gained a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I would be places looking at myself and being like, dang, I look good, man. I'm kind of swole. Like, it took the doctor to be like, nah, bro, your health is in danger, Yeah. And at 22, 23 years old, it's like, shit, I got to figure something out.
Yeah. So how old are you right now?
34.
34.
Yeah.
All right. So going back, at what age do you think you kind of just stopped caring about fitness? You got back on it recently, it sounds like. At what age did you just like say, I don't care?
That's funny you ask, because I've been in the gym since I've been in the gym working out since I've been about 12, 13 years old.
Really? In the gym at 12 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you must have been like a buff little kid, honestly.
I was really stocky.
Really?
Yeah, like gaining weight was never a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would never say I was fat, but like stocky build, husky kid for sure. But I was always active all the time. So I never had a problem per se when it came to like weight.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Building muscle, like throughout the years of just working out and not really knowing what I'm doing, it was no problem for me.
Yeah.
Like I always had a muscular build, I guess you can say. But I don't think I ever was out of like done with fitness. It was just I was more into it at certain points than others. Just being in football, I had to be there. You know what I mean? So we always had to work out, especially if you wanted to be on the team. Like you needed to show yourself, be at the workouts. That was always mandatory, right? There's no way getting around being in high school sports or high school football and then going to college and not being able to be in the gym. Like you had to be. I think it was just my focus, like I said, like, you know, transitioning out of sports and just having all this free time. Having all this leisure time. It was more focus of just like hanging out, partying, doing that kind of stuff. So where my main focus wasn't fitness. It was something I could always fall back on, but I never had it. Does that make sense? Like I think it became more of a priority once I realized that I wanted to do bodybuilding. Does that make sense? So,
totally.
Not only did my like lifestyle change, my diet habits changed. Some of the things that I was doing, like it was all more focused towards just fitness. But I mean, even during that time, I've had 3 kids. I've worked career jobs that like I thought I was going to be doing that, and then just be a buff dude. You know what I mean? Working out, but my whole focus changed once I started to bodybuild. Right? Like started to compete in those shows, and that was probably shortly after I had my son, probably about 24 years old or so, is when I really like decided like I'm gonna try to pursue this thing 100%.
Yeah.
And that was just in the pursuit of like getting healthy, getting back healthy, I guess you can say, like transitioning from no more football, gaining that weight in that short period of time, probably about 6 months, to saying like, all right, now I gotta get healthier. I got a kid coming in. I don't want to be like the thing that was in my head all the time was I don't want to be a fat dad. Like not knowing like, you know, it's the kid. Kids take time to grow. A lot of things can happen in that short period of time. Like I was just focused on like I want to be there for my kid. You know what I mean? So totally. I wanted to be healthy, and that's what drove me into bodybuilding. The guy that I was training with at the time that was helping us out, me and my buddy Brandon, was just honest. Like, hey man, you could do good in bodybuilding if you wanted to. If you really wanted to pursue this, you can do good at bodybuilding. And at the time, I didn't have anything. Right? I wasn't like playing sports or anything. So I kind of needed something that fit that athletic fire, you know. I wanted to do something, and so bodybuilding just kind of fit that mold. Yeah,
like you said, you've been in a kind of an athletic kid since you were pretty young, since 12 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. But you know, can you tell me a story that like kind of like describes you as a kid? Like, what were you like?
I was really stubborn. I was a stubborn kid. I was athletic, kind of a feisty little dude. Like we fought all the time. Like, I had an older brother. I just have brothers. Like I mean, my mom had just brothers, just boys. My older brother Devon, who was 5 years older than me, and my younger brother, who's 5 years younger than me. So we always fought. we were hard to handle, I guess you can say, hard-headed kids, but tough. You know what I mean? My mom was tough. She was tough on us. But I think as a kid, that's a tough question, man. I was just sports oriented, I guess you can say. That's all I wanted to do is play sports. Football was pretty much my passion at a young age. I probably thought I was going to be an NFL athlete at a young age. That's what I was focused on until about I was 20 years old.
Oh my gosh.
She's interested in something over here, huh? There it is. She's trying to hide out.
How funny. But so you said you wanted to be an NFL athlete?
Yeah.
I said, wow.
Football for sure was my first love.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Growing up, did you grow up with both parents?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Yeah, single mom.
Single mom?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Shout out single moms, man. A lot of people have told me that that's kind of what starts their drive, is raised by a single mom. They want to start providing for the family,
For sure.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people tell me that on the podcast in a short amount of time.
Probably still to this day. My mom is really strong, motivating. Like I think the reason why I am as good as I am in bodybuilding is probably because the foundation that my mom had.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of mental strength that is involved in bodybuilding. Anything fitness, anything sports related, you got to have a good mental. But my mom would always be on that. She would always be like, you got to make sure that your mind's right. The things you say will happen to you. Like, you just can't go out there and expect things to happen. Like, you have to have this in order before this happens. You know what I mean? Like, so my mom is a really strong influence in my life. Like, no bullshit type of parent. She loved us. We knew that, but we were boys, and she was tough on us a lot. I mean, still, like I said, to this day, she's tough. So a lot of that motivation, came from my mom. I can remember when I was younger or in high school playing football and hear my mom over everybody. If I got hurt or something, I'd be laying on the field and I would hear my mom say, "Get up!" over everyone. So I mean, we had no choice but to be tough, but tough in the right sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like not necessarily being a bully or just kind of taking your way, but it was more so like no complaints. Do what you got to do, and everybody has a responsibility type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, my mom. I mean, my dad was around. I actually lived with him when I was in elementary school for a little while. So my dad wasn't like what you would say a deadbeat. I mean, he really was involved. I know who he is. We have a relationship. It was just things didn't work out at the time. You know what I mean? So I lived with my mom, but I mean, still at the same time we struggled. She didn't really show us that. She, like I said, she's tough. She's accomplished. She's educated. She does really well, like in her work in her field. So we never really had to feel struggle, but we knew it was going on. Like we knew she worked her ass off to provide for us, but never really ever had to go without water or heat. You know what I mean? Like I don't come from that story, but obviously, I mean, with having 3 kids in the house and being a single mom, like that comes with everyday struggles, of course.
Yeah. That's good to know. Where's your mom now? She's still in Pueblo?
Yeah, she's still here. She's still in town.
That's awesome.
Going strong, yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet she's super proud of you, man.
Yeah, she tells me every so often.
How funny.
Yeah.
All right. So when did you become an IFBB pro? Can you just explain to the people what that is too?
Yeah. I just became pro in 2019, November of 2019. So it's coming around, is that 2 years now?
Mm-hmm.
IFBB Pro, so that's the pro league of bodybuilding under the NPC, so National Physique Committee, and basically that's the best of the best, IFBB Pro. So I just kind of explain to you how bodybuilding works, because a lot of times you hear of a bodybuilder and like no matter what level that person's on, you automatically think, oh, he's a pro, or he could probably tell people that he's a pro if most people don't understand the levels of bodybuilding. But so anybody can enter a local division, right? That's your Steel City that we used to have in town, or any of the shows that are in Denver. That's your local show. Anybody can participate in a local show. In order to become a pro, you have to make it to nationals. Well, in order to make it to nationals, you have to place top 3 in a local show, and then obviously participate in nationals. And from nationals, you'll go, I think it's, depending on what show you do, it's either number 1 in your class turns pro, or 1 and 2, just kind of depending on what the show offers. So from there, if you win, you accept your pro card, you become an IFBB Pro. And then IFBB Pro, it's pretty much wolves eating wolves.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best of the best across the country, international, everything. Yeah.
How often are you competing?
So I just had my pro debut last year, December. That was my first show that I've ever done as an IFBB pro. And just in July, I ruptured my patella.
What the hell is that?
That's that's basically the tendon that keeps your knee in the socket.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it attaches at the top of your knee, over your knee, and at the bottom at your tibia.
Damn. Ouch.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
I was squatting.
Fuck. And you blew out your knee.
I blew out my knee.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is that on video?
It is.
Wow. I would love to see that video.
go check it out.
It's on YouTube?
No, it's on my Instagram.
Oh, hell yeah.
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 It's interesting. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's insane, man. I could only imagine. I've seen plenty of those videos.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as gruesome, but you can just tell when I did it. Mm-hmm. You can see the knee kind of go out of place. Yeah, it was pretty devastating. I was pretty sad. I was down in the dumps for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year did that happen?
That just happened in July.
In July. Mm-hmm. Holy shit! So
Yeah.
you're still recovering.
Yeah. I'm 5 months fresh.
Oh my gosh! How's that changed your life?
I would say when it first happened, I was devastated. I didn't think that I was going to be able to come back. At the time, talking with some of the doctors and stuff, I went to emergency surgery about 2 hours or so after the incident happened. So obviously, that's a big deal, right? They're pushing you to surgery right then. But luckily, my surgeon is really he's a confident dude, and he reassured me that I'd be okay. When I did it with tons of weight, like 9 plates, 10 plates on each side. So
how many pounds is that? I don't even know. I'm not good at math.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's probably close to 1,000.
Holy shit!
And so don't get me wrong, it's not a back squat. It was on a machine, a hack squat machine. Mm-hmm. It's still a ton of weight. It's heavy as hell. But I wasn't doing it to, you know what I mean, one rep. It was on my 7th rep that I blew it out. So I was trying to rep it out. But anyway, you don't need that type of weight in order to build muscle. There is a certain point that in your career, like when you have a lot of mass, that you have to go heavy. Your body will demand that. But my training and when I got hurt was more so off of frustration. I was in vacation the week before that. I didn't get a chance to train. So I was really pissed off. I wanted to come home and work out and train hard. And
wow, you went too hard.
I went too hard. So now, yeah, I'm back on recovery now. I actually had my first leg day since injuring myself on Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm slowly coming back, but like I said, the doctor reassured me that I'll be okay. It happened. It's happened before to multiple people, and they come back stronger than what they were before. So with the technology that we have nowadays with these doctors and surgery and stuff, he pretty much reassured if I do what I'm supposed to be doing when it comes to PT and taking it easy, I'll be all right. So.
Hell yeah. Wow. So pertaining to your pro status, can you lose pro status because of an injury?
No. Once you're pro, you're pro forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, it does, I guess, hurt you when it comes to getting your face out there when it comes to stage time, but nah, it's a sport. Injuries happen. So you almost expect that. Guys are dealing with injuries all the time. So it's the ones that keep you out that suck the most.
Yeah. As far as a culture of bodybuilding, would you say that most people experience knee injuries like that, like devastating knee injuries where they just blow out their entire knee?
Yeah, I would say less now than before, and that's just because you have all these different things that prevent that. I think that, like I said, people are training smarter, and I don't want to say going heavy is not training smart. You should be able to, if you're gonna do that amount of weight or even do any type of weight training, you should be able to listen to your body and kind of gauge if you're ready to do that or not. And I mean, your nutrition and training and training leading up to that day and all these different things should factor in, right? You shouldn't just be going out there and, hey, I'm going to try to do this today, right? Like that's the quickest way to get hurt. But I do think that guys nowadays are protecting their bodies, and there's a lot more body work that could be done to prevent these things, especially if you feel anything earlier on. There's a lot of things that you could do to kind of prevent this type of injury, right? Or any type of injuries, like there's just so much more research out there than there was before. So guys can prevent getting hurt. And if they do get hurt, they can come back and, continue their career. So it's kind of hit and miss, I guess you would say. But I would favor on less injuries happen of that like magnitude than before.
So you said that guys are quote unquote training smarter, not harder. What else has kind of changed recently that you noticed with like I guess competitive weightlifting?
Well, competitive weightlifting or professional bodybuilding.
Professional bodybuilding.
Yeah, there's a difference there.
My bad. I honestly didn't know.
Well, I mean, it doesn't offend me. Some people may be offended.
Oh, really?
Right? We're not weightlifters per se. We use weights to, sculpt our body to be able to have it presentable. It's almost like a football player squats.
Yeah.
To be fast on the field.
Yeah, my dumb ass. I was trying to sound smart.
No, you're good. That's why we're here. Educate.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Aside from like you said the term training smarter and not harder. That's what the culture of bodybuilding is doing now.
Yeah.
What else has changed like over the time since you've been involved?
So that saying, I don't really think that's adequate, right? Like, so training harder and smarter, like you have to train hard, right? You have to train hard because it's just your body demands that, especially when you get to the point where you're a bodybuilder, right? Like you have a lot of mass, you need to be training hard. Now, smart comes into play when you, like I said, listening to your body, training frequency. So mapping out what you do weekly, daily, and like paying attention to calories and calories burned and meals and your nutrition side of it and how much time you spend on your feet and opposed to like just downtime and resting and how much time are you actually sleeping. So I think all the technical things, the real science-based stuff is more important to than just going out and racking up the bar and put as much weight on there and see how many times you could do it, right? Like the mechanics of exercising is probably more of a focus than, like I said, just going out there and throwing around weight. Now, there's days that you do that, right? Like people train out of frustration, people train for therapy, and obviously you train for your sport, but getting away from injuries, you want to be able to do this forever, right? Like that's the name of the game, not just for this 10 years or 5 years while you're in the sport or whatever it is. Like I want to be able to work out and train and keep myself healthy forever. So, I mean, I don't really go to the gym thinking about that, but at the same time, I'm thinking about, well, I'm gonna train the muscle, get what I need to get out of it, go home and recover.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's more so being able to do it, longevity of the sport, and not just now. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does make sense. So I guess so training harder, not smarter, is not really a thing. You got to train hard regardless. But have you seen like any fads come and go in the bodybuilding community? I guess is what I'm asking.
For sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Like diets, for instance, the keto diet, right? Like that definitely does work. It's a tool. Every diet works, right? But I feel like a lot of times people jump on the fads when they hear their popular person that they follow has done it and been successful at it, right? So the keto diet has been something that you've heard about probably for the last 10 years that people have just loved. I think probably about 5 years ago or so is when it really like hit the scene.
Oh,
But
yeah.
people have been doing that forever, right? Like the Atkins diet is pretty much a keto diet, right? Anything low carb essentially is pushing you into that route of keto diet because it drops your carbs. People are usually less active, so they burn more fat, or they don't gain fat or weight because they're not really eating those empty calories, right? So you're getting your nutrients in that you need to get, and your body burns it, and you're good. But I'm not saying that it's wrong by any means. Diets are one thing that people tend to jump on. Again, because they want the immediate satisfaction. So if one thing's not working, they see somebody else's diet's working for them, they want to jump onto that. What else? You see a lot of like chest Monday, things like that, like International Chest Day. I don't know if you've heard that. Like everybody trains upper body on Monday.
Really?
Yeah,
It sounds funny.
That's an ongoing deal for the gym goers. Bro science. Yeah.
I have not been on it, as you can tell.
No.
You need to train me.
You don't do the International Chest Day on Monday?
Right. No, now I'm going to start.
Here you
You're
go.
going to get me on my shit.
I don't necessarily pay attention to a lot of those fads. Whatever the top IG guy's doing, you'll see that in your local gym for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In terms of training, usually it's high volume training. A lot of bodybuilders go off of that method, a push-pull method, basically meaning one day you're doing a push exercise movement, you're focusing on that, like a chest, shoulders, and then another day you're doing a pull, so a back rowing type situations, pulling down. A lot of guys fall on that. Hypertrophy training, obviously, strength training. There's not really much you could do. You know what I mean? You can't really reinvent this wheel too much. Like, you kind of find fads that kind of come and go because, like I said, your popular Instagram guy is advocating for it.
Yeah.
So you see that, but there's not too many ways to do this.
What about as far as like a performance enhancing drugs go? Is that like still prevalent in the community?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's big. Yeah, I would say. I don't want to say that everybody's doing it because obviously everybody's not. But yeah, there's a lot of that going on, especially when it comes to being a professional athlete. Like these guys they want the competitive edge as much as possible, right? Like more so, I would say for the guys that are top whatever in the world, there's a lot of demand for these dudes. They're expected to perform at a high level. They have been performing at a high level, so that's as stressful as anything, right? Like trying to make your way through, but also having that big moment. Like people are expecting you to be that a lot and always being on your game. And then the same pressure for young guys coming up in the game too. They're doing it as well. But there's a wrong and right way to do everything, right? Like I don't necessarily feel that those guys don't work hard, or guys that are natural guys compared to the guys that are doing performance enhancing drugs. Like everybody works hard in the industry. There's no way that you can become a professional athlete if you didn't.
Really?
Right. So it's definitely a competitive environment. 100%.
Okay. So as I went to high school. I definitely looked into taking some HGH. Is that like actually what people take?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, HGH is big.
Okay.
Mostly because it works.
Really?
Oh yeah.
How do you all hearsay, how do you get HGH?
You got your street pharmacist and you got your local pharmacy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you would obviously have to go to through a doctor to obtain HGH, and obviously that's expensive. So you have guys that find it, and you could definitely get it on the streets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that kind of like you don't really talk about it with other, like bodybuilders don't talk about it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they talk about it?
Yeah. It's a common thing.
Oh, really?
But I mean, also you can get it. Like HGH is not actually illegal. You can have HGH. My sponsor, Springs Alternative Medicine. Shameless plug right there.
Yeah, shout them out.
For sure. Springs Alternative Medicine. If you need blood work or anything, let them know that I sent you up there. They're in Springs. They'll hook you up.
Yep.
But yeah, they have it. So I mean, yeah, HGH, obviously human growth hormone, is a medical medicine, or if you will. So yeah, it's legal to have. I wouldn't say it's legal to have if you're in sports, but for the guy that's they call it the fountain of youth for a reason, right? These guys are taking it because it enhances, it helps them.
I've never heard that term.
No?
They call it the fountain of youth, HGH?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You start to feel better. Your hair grows back. You have more energy. You sleep better. Like it's all for medical uses. But as athletes, you find out the benefits in your sport. So these guys are I mean, you'd be surprised what people do.
Yeah. What happens when you like? I mean, it's a drug. So what happens when you take too much of it?
That's a good question. I think like anything, you're bad, whatever comes out, right? Like, I mean, people will always say like the most common thing, right? Like you're gonna be angry or crazy or whatever. I'm sure people experience that. More so, it's the health issues behind it. You know, I was always told that it's going to enhance whatever you have going on in your body anyway, right? Like it may speed up that process, or
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if you already have like a disease dormant in your body,
yeah,
it could make it faster. Oh, wow.
Right.
That's
Now,
crazy.
I'm not a doctor by any means, and I don't know for sure, but that's something that has been talked about before. People say like that can enhance. It's an enhancer, right? So it's going to enhance everything if you're putting it in your body, especially if it's artificial, right? There's not really a 100% case on what it's going to do and what it's not going to do. I mean, everybody's situation, I'm sure, when it comes down to bad side effects are different.
Yeah.
And especially when people have had success stories in it, everybody's success stories are different as well. And it's all based off genetics. This entire, I mean, any sports realm is based off your genetics too, right? Like, especially when it comes to bodybuilding, it's a genetics game, period. Obviously, guys that have worked hard have made it to the top ranks, but the guys that are genetically blessed and work hard as well and are doing the same things that everybody else is doing, they win generally. So I think whatever you're doing, eating, taking, training, based off what your genetics makeup is, you get those results.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut. There's no shortcuts for anything.
No,
in life.
not at all.
That's what it's boils down to. Yeah, I think, it's sad to say, but typically when a person thinks of a bodybuilder, they'll think of just someone who's just like kind of roided out,
For sure.
And that's not the case at all. I guess from what you're saying, it kind of like some people do use it, but if you got to that point, it wasn't because of that. It was because of your hard work in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like, I mean, I don't really know how to explain it, but I never want to be the guy that's like, yeah, that everybody's doing this in the sport. It's like if you're gonna play, you're gonna get in with the big dog. Whatever, you do what you want to do. Like, I'm realistic in this sport. Like, I want to. I'm 34 years old. I have 10 years that I'm trying to really, make it big, or forget make it big. Just be the best I could possibly be. I really enjoy doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I want to pursue bodybuilding as much as I possibly can. I'm gonna take the advantage if I can get the advantage, and I know it's gonna work and it keep me healthy. I'm gonna do it, right? That's the same for the person that's getting ready for the spelling bee, right? Any competitive edge, they're gonna try to take it because they want to win. They have passion for this sport, and anybody that says they do anything, like, I don't care what you do, you want to win. You want to be the best at it. That's the reason why you do what you do. It could be playing the piano to throwing a football. Like, you want to be the best at it. That's the reason why you do it. And I think in bodybuilding, yeah, you get that bad rap because we're actually doing some things that people haven't really figured out, right? Like, bodybuilding's been around for a long time, but it's still a really small community in terms of people walking around and people that are actually doing this sport. It's hard. It's 24/7. It changes your life. It could be for the good or the bad. A lot of times, like you said, people are already expecting or seeing somebody and they already think, oh, that guy's doing this and he's doing that. Mm-hmm. Well, little do they know, like, a lot of these people are doing that. You know, they're people that they see at the gym every day, at Planet Fitness, at wherever. They're doing that as well. Oh, wow. The difference, I guess, between bodybuilders and whoever that chooses to do what they do is probably their diet, right? And training and how serious they are when it comes to obtaining their goals. And not to say, like I said, other people are not. There's different levels. There's just different levels. And regardless, like I said, of what you're doing, you're trying to find that competitive edge.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, like you said, anyone that's trying to be the best, and if you're in something, you're trying to be good at it, I think would take any kind of shortcut. You know, if there was a pill that made, like you said, the spelling bee reference, if there was a pill that made you know every word, little kids would be taking that pill, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you didn't sit there and study what that word is exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah. As far as like the history of bodybuilding, who are some of your inspirations?
I draw a lot from, I guess, guys that look like me or kind of similar body types. So Dexter Jackson, growing up, was probably one of my favorite bodybuilders. And just, again, kind of similar build, training style. I kind of like the way he trains. So I gravitated towards him earlier on. Mm-hmm. Colorado had the #1 bodybuilder in the world for about 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Probably even arguably still top 4 or 5 in the world if he still competed. But he was close right here in our backyard, so I obviously watched a lot of him.
What was his name?
Phil Heath.
Phil Heath.
Yeah. He actually just recently moved to Florida, but he's been here for a really long time. He actually played basketball for DU.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, stayed in Colorado and slowly started bodybuilding and became the best.
That's awesome.
Probably one of the best ever, arguably.
Shout out Phil.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have to reach out to him.
Yeah, I mean, so he definitely was someone that I watched growing up as well. But some of the older guys, like I like Flex Wheeler, Chris Cormier, obviously Ronnie Coleman, like Mike Mincer. These are old guys. I mean, not too old, but some of the glory day guys, early 90s. Some of the guys now, we got a lot of great bodybuilders in Colorado. Like Colorado really is on the map for when it comes to the fitness game, but bodybuilding for sure. When I first started, like I said, 22, 23 years old, actually paying attention to bodybuilding, we had a lot of guys turn pro in this last 10, 12 years in a lot of other states our size. I think it's just Denver, man. Like Phil Heath bringing a lot of attention to it, and obviously like going pro kind of quick and becoming the best. He brought a lot of attention to the sport, and a lot of these bodybuilders up in Denver, up north. I mean, we have a lot of great bodybuilders in Pueblo as well, but a lot of bodybuilders up north have been some of the best. So some of the young guys that are up there that are pro now, Brett Wilkins, he's in Colorado. Martin Fitzwater, my coach, Russ Allen, who I watched turn pro, and now he coaches me. He's helping me out.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of just local guys. Brad Helm, who is a bodybuilder here in town, that's pro. We were training partners for I mean, for three or 4 years. He's been a mentor for me for a long time when I got into the sport. Jim Maychek, guys that have been doing it for 20-something years, you know, that have a lot of time under their belt. I gravitate towards all of these dudes. They all have history in the sport and a lot to take from. So a mix of everybody.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, with all these guys that you were just named, would you say it's more of a competitive mindset or like a friendly mindset when you guys all train together and get together?
It's both. Yeah, like a lot of these guys, we don't actually compete against each other. There's a lot of different divisions in bodybuilding, so it's a lot of just like, you know, coming together, trying to push each other.
Divisions like how?
So there's open bodybuilding, which is the most popular, right? Those are the biggest of the big, right? The huge dudes you see, Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler and Phil Heath, those guys, the biggest dudes. I'm in classic physique, which is, I guess you could say, it's a smaller bodybuilding. They're trying to capture the glory days look. So there's a height and weight advantage. In the open, it's just whatever, right? Whatever you are, you show up. Like I said, generally the biggest guys are in the open bodybuilding. Classics, height and weight. So depending on how tall you are, you have a weight that you have to fall under, right? And there's men's physique. Men's physique, these guys are, I don't know how to explain it. These are your model guys. They look more tapered, you know, pretty boy look.
Where I'd be.
That's right.
No, I'm just kidding.
They wear different bottoms than, all three of them wear different bottoms, but these guys actually wear shorts, like a swim trunk look. It's different. But all divisions are, well, the way I see it, their starting point and trying to reach basically open bodybuilding. That's a good way. That's a good way to look at it. Now there's guys that stay in the division, they retire in that division, right? Like, because they like that look and it favors their body type really well. But those are the three main divisions, or those are the three only divisions in bodybuilding, right? Yeah.
So everyone's trying to, most people are trying to reach to the open division.
I would say that was the way that they set it up, or at least that's how I understood it, right? Like, I actually competed in bodybuilding. There was only men's physique and open bodybuilding when I first started bodybuilding. This classic physique just started in 2016.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like,
so,
it was a IFBB, like, sanctioned? Like, who comes up with the new division?
Yeah, so the IFBB.
Oh, really?
Whoever the president and the Jim Mannion, I'm sure, is who they get their board together and they discuss what new divisions come in. And it doesn't really happen often. It's actually happened more so than this last 10 years that I've been involved in any.
Really?
It's just because it draws more attention to the sport.
When you let more people in,
right,
more competition.
Right. And all different body types, you know. A lot of times guys are not ever going to make it to the heavyweight look, ever, right? That's the extreme of the extreme. Like, there isn't 300-pound guys that are 5'9", 5'6", 5'7", whatever, walking around.
Yeah.
You know, and then they get to be on stage and they're shredded. Like, that's just not. But for a men's physique guy who could be on stage competitive at 180 pounds, 170 pounds, they could actually compete and do well. Now, when you first came into the sport, if it was just men's physique and there was bodybuilding, I mean, the guy that was inspired to be a bodybuilder may take a couple of years in men's physique before they actually had a presentable package when they got to bodybuilding. And I'm thinking, like, that's the reason why they have with all these different divisions. Like, you start here, if it fits your look, you stay there and you do well until you want to, you know, either get too big or you just kind of, you know, you got lost in the division and maybe it's time to move on to the next division, which would possibly be classic physique, which is, like I said, a more tapered, aesthetic looking bodybuilder, and you have the weight limit.
Yeah.
And the height limit.
What would you say, like, the age, like, at what age do bodybuilders phase out, typically?
It's a good question. When and I was just watching this podcast with some of these older guys that are bodybuilding. They're the same age after being, 15, 20 years almost out of the game as some of these bodybuilders that are retiring now. Does that make sense? So it's changed. It went from being a younger man's game where these guys were retiring at like 30, 33 years old after winning the title 4 or 5 times or competing in hundreds of competitions before they even reach 40 years old. Nowadays, I mean, these guys are, in the sport for damn near 15 years or so. And I don't know. I actually don't even know why. I mean, bodybuilding has a lot of different divisions when it comes to age. So you have the open division. Also, you have master division that starts at 35. So I don't know. I don't know if they've always it was just a young man's game, and these guys got out of the sport at a younger age. But nowadays, man, I went pro at 20. I started at 25. I went pro at 32, and I don't plan on retiring until I'm 42, 44 years old. So it's kind of changed. Dexter Jackson, the one I was telling you about, he retired at 51.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So. Typically, you don't really see a lot of these guys at an older age being competitive, and so I shouldn't say that, past their prime at an older age, right? Like these guys are still, this is their everyday lives. They have to, compete to, stay relevant, make money. So you'll see it to 45, 45, even up to 50 guys that are really still competitive. But the guys that are doing really big things are younger.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense. Your body gets tired, it gets old, and you just can't keep up with
Definitely
some of the younger guys. But at the same time, the younger guys don't have the maturity in their muscles that can actually look and compare it up to these guys that have been doing it for a long time. So I mean, there's a fine edge of when, hey, I should hang it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with anything like that. What about like mental health in the bodybuilding community? I feel like pushing your body to those extreme limits kind of like you're kind of isolating yourself because you're dedicating your whole life, like you said, to bodybuilding.
Yeah. What
is there any like problems with that? Do you talk to your friends or talk to colleagues and they're like, why am I doing this anymore?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had to deal with it as much with different people, but you definitely hear about it a lot. You deal with it in your own as well. Because that question that you just said is definitely always thought about, especially when it comes to like when it gets to the end, when you're prepping for a show, like less calories, more work, you're tired, you're hungry, you're beat up. Yeah, you definitely question like, why am I doing this? And most of the time it's voluntary, right? Like these guys that are trying to become professional, they don't have sponsors. They don't have people paying their way or cooking their foods or anything like that. But they got a desire. They got a really big will to become pro, and it's hard. Like a lot of these guys, when I first started bodybuilding, they told me it was pretty much impossible to go pro. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just knew that I really liked what I was doing, and when I got to the competition, and if it was a bad situation, I probably wouldn't continue bodybuilding. But it's fun. It's a rush. It's comparable to what football was to me on Friday nights, right? Like or in college. It's the closest thing that I've found. So getting that and then wanting to perform well, and also going your hardest you've ever gone and then not placing well is a whole lot of stress that comes down on you, right? It sucks because now what do? You're faced with, I took all this time, I've dieted all my ass off, I've missed this, I've whatever, I've been doing an hour of cardio, I've dieted, whatever, you name it, whatever a bodybuilder goes through, and then you put your hands and your work of art in the hands of 6 judges and you don't place. Or you don't get that pro card, or whatever it is, that could be hard on a person. And what do you tell them? I mean, you look good. Well, how come I didn't place? well, I've been doing this for the last 10 years and I still haven't gone anywhere. Well, people deal with a lot. Like it sucks. And who are you to say like, hey, maybe you should probably hang it up, or maybe this isn't good for you, or whatever. Like I'm not going to tell somebody that. If they got a dream, if they have a goal, it's something that they want to do. It makes them get up in the morning. By all means, I want to be able to support you. But those things, those failures, I guess you can say, could weigh a lot on a person. Mm-hmm. And like you said, a bodybuilder lives kind of a lonely life, especially when it comes to getting prepared for a show. A lot of people just don't understand it, so that could be a lot on the mental. Guys feel like, I mean, no matter what, people will tell you, well, just have this pizza, or just one little candy's not gonna hurt you. And it's like, no, like I got a goal. I wanna pursue this. That can be, a feeling of being alone when guys just don't understand that journey. And instead of you giving me this piece of candy or whatever, like you should support me in my journey, right? Like that's a lot of the talk that you hear is that, right? Like, this is what I love to do. I don't really have support, and then on top of it, not placing well. So those are some of the issues that you hear a lot when it comes to bodybuilding. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could imagine. So, like most bodybuilders won't even like indulge in like a piece of candy or like a pizza.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Slice?
No, don't. What I mean is when you're getting ready for a show, right? Like there ain't really much room to fuck up, but when it comes to everyday life, bodybuilders are fatties. they indulge for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when you're in the gym, how many days a week do you typically work out? First off,
usually I do a good 5 days.
5 days a week. Wow.
Yeah. If I'm getting ready for a show, like sometimes you don't have a day off.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Right now, since I'm getting back in the swing of things, I've probably averaged about 5 this last month.
Monday through Friday, weekends you're going crazy, or?
Nah, yeah. I coach my son's sports team, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, so on Saturdays I'm doing that.
Hell yeah! What are they? What's their team name?
It's Steel City Warriors.
Heck yeah!
That's right. Pop Warner.
Shout out the Warriors.
That's right.
Hell yeah!
So Saturdays it's time we just kind of do our sports thing.
Dad mode.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but Sundays I'm in there. I'll train. Usually it's Monday through Friday. Just getting in, man. I got to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you typically listen to when you're in the gym going hard?
That's a good question. It was Pop Smoke for a long time there.
R.I.P.
Yeah, for sure. He was motivating me in the gym for sure. Damn, that's a good question. I like ESTG.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Pooh Shiesty, Moneybag. I'm on this like Memphis kick.
Hell yeah.
Lately.
R.I.P. Dolph, bro.
I know Dolph.
That's fucking.
That was sad.
So
man.
sad.
So a lot of them. I listen to Little Baby. Kendrick. I wish Kendrick would come out with the new album. If you're listening, Kendrick, come out with the new album. Damn.
Kendrick's definitely tuning into Street Champs.
There you go. That's right. We need to tag him in this. The gym needs you, Kendrick.
That's funny. And so like no R&B, huh?
No, I do. I just can't throw it off the head. Like my playlist is crazy. Like I'll even listen to some Queen, some Bohemian Rhapsody. Like I listen to gospel. I listen to whatever kind of motivates at the time. But I have an issue when I hear something in my head. I gotta try to find it. So it could be random. Literally, I gotta hear it so I can get through my set. But yeah, it kind of just whatever, man, whatever I feel at the time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever dabbled in like making any music or anything?
Yeah, man. Back in the day, we used to rap.
Really? What was your rap name?
Just JT.
JT?
Yeah.
Could you spit some bars right now? I'll give you a beat.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. You were called the Starting Five.
The Starting Five?
Yeah.
That's fire.
My boy Chaz, he's still doing it.
Chaz
Miles.
Hell yeah! Shout out Chaz Miles, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! We'll have to get you on Street Champs.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just me and my boys from growing up. We started a little rap. We was taking it seriously there for a little bit.
Hell yeah! What
Recorded
happened?
A couple songs.
Why'd you give it up?
You know, it was like pastime stuff. You know what I mean? When football wasn't going on, this is what we did.
Yeah.
So it was just us as boys hanging out, doing, you know,
Hell
having
yeah.
fun.
I could fuck with that. Hell yeah.
it was
I'm sure
cool.
there's some lost tapes out there.
For sure.
Gotta find those.
Yeah. I don't know if they're on any platforms or anything. But you have to do some searching in the streets.
Oh no, that's why we call ourselves the street champs, bro.
Sure.
Hell yeah. So you said you're a dad. You said you have a kid on the way.
No.
Oh.
Hell no. God no.
Hell no. You have two though.
Three.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
2 boys and 1 girl.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, how has fatherhood kind of changed, like your relationship with the gym, and how serious you're taking it, or has it only increased it?
I would say it probably increased it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More so because, like, typically they say bodybuilders don't have families, right? You don't have time for that. You
Never heard that.
Well,
you put me on all kinds of bodybuilding game, bro.
Well, I shouldn't say typically. I just want to say when I first started, like, you know, you're gonna have that kid, you're not gonna be able to continue bodybuilding, or you do this, you're not gonna be able to focus in the gym. Like, kid's gonna take you out of that. Watch, your wife's gonna tell you can't do this. Or, and no, like, I've had 3 kids since I've bodybuilded, and I went pro with having 3 kids. So, I mean, shout out to my wife too. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her holding me down. But
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she supported me. I started when we already had one, and she was pregnant with my daughter when I actually competed in my first bodybuilding show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The kids are just in the crowd.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
One in the belly and one on the lap. But we definitely were. If I said I wouldn't be able to do it unless she actually supported me and actually believed that I could actually do it. I mean, because bodybuilding is an expensive sport. So if you don't have any sponsors, or, you know what I mean, people that are actually paying you to do this, if the food bill adds up, you know, you got gym memberships, you have supplements, you have, I mean, you name it, travel when it comes to competing, and entry fees, and I mean, it's nonstop. It's always, right. You always got to eat. You're eating 6 to 8 meals a day. Like, on top of it, I have a family. They got to eat.
Definitely.
Right. So I got an 11-year-old son.
2 to 3 meals a day, typically.
Exactly. Well, like I said, I got an 11-year-old son and a 3-year-old boy.
Oh, they eat a lot.
Yeah, they eat.
Yeah.
A lot.
Hell yeah.
But we made it work. We both are business owners, and honestly, we figured it out. We make it work, and we just kind of go with it.
Oh yeah. Do you want to shout out her business? What does she do?
Empire Salon. She does hair. She's a barber.
Heck yeah.
Check it out.
Men and women.
Men and women.
Nice. I need a haircut, bro.
Yeah.
I need one.
Check it out, man.
Hell yeah. I'd love to.
On me.
No,
No?
on Rick. Hell yeah. That's awesome. So you guys met at work. All right, I still kind of threw me out of it. Hell yeah. So if you could go back to the beginning, you know, when you were that 12-year-old kid, would you change anything, or would you do everything the same? Do it all again just to be a bodybuilder?
Yeah, I'd probably do everything the same, man. Like I was telling you off air, like I feel like some of the things that I've experienced in life have led me to become a bodybuilder, right? Like, the reason why I was in the gym at 12, 13 years old is because after football practice, or after football ended as middle school kid, we just had all this free time. So, you know, we were getting kicked out of like stores and, you know, doing stupid stuff. And my mom doesn't even really remember. I had this talk with her, and I said, "Don't you remember you got me a gym membership at it was the Pack?" And she's like, "No, I don't." But now that I think about it, I think it was one of my best friend's dads that was like, "Yo, enough's enough. You guys are just gonna come, you know, to the gym with me, you know, hang out there." Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think we did arms every day, you know.
Yeah.
He'd make us do pull-ups and like dips and stuff. But I just remember doing that, and then shortly after that, having to be in the gym for football in high school. So, always being involved in the gym at some point has just been something that I've done. I can't even remember what your question was.
If you would change anything or do it all again.
Yeah. So just prepared me for everything that I've done. Like I said, college football, being in the gym, having to be in the gym, high school again, like being in the gym, having to do that, and then from this, I just knew I just was gonna do something when it came to sports, whether it being a coach or physical activity, something. Did I know it was gonna be bodybuilding? No way. Even when I was getting ready to do bodybuilding, I was like, man, I don't really want this underwear in my ass and shit. Like everybody's same, thoughts. Like I don't want to do this. But I'm really grateful for what bodybuilding has brought me to. What it took me out of. I think it has made me a better father, or it saved me like fatherhood did as well. Like bodybuilding has changed me the same way fatherhood did. So it's almost great that it happened at the same time, because it gives me balance and actually gives me some direction. And not like I said, I wasn't out there just like fucking up and doing dumb shit. Eventually, what I was doing would have led to possibly something worse. But having a kid and actually finding bodybuilding pretty much at the same time has kind of made me where I'm at now. I don't think any of those things could have been possible, like being a business owner, becoming pro, without having things that I had to go through at the beginning when I transitioned to this life. So being in the gym young, having that friend's dad that took us out, from doing stupid shit to, being in the gym and actually gravitating towards that and liking it. I just haven't looked back. So no, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. I respect that, man. Do you have any advice to like young bodybuilders that want to be in your shoes one day?
Yeah. My biggest thing would be take your time. Take your time and be anal, if that makes sense. Be really specific about what you do, what you put into your body, and be patient. Because it's not a rush. It's your body. It's your body that you're gonna have forever, right? And I think a lot of times with social media, some of the people that are in front of you, it pressures you in a sense. Like you may not feel or hear anybody actually say like, "Hey, you need to hurry up and get this going." But having the desire to want to be professional or be a bodybuilder, but also having that social media aspect of the game. Forces people to rush and try to get this easy satisfaction and doing things shortcut, and it just ain't what you want to do. I mean, people's lives change, their goals, what they want to do when they get to a certain age, and families and things like that. So you just got to remember, this body is the body that you're gonna have forever, right? Until you don't, and no one knows when that is. So I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, this is something that you do and you want to be able to do forever. And the knowledge and stuff that you pertain throughout the journey, like you're doing it because you can be able to pass it down to someone else, and hopefully it perfects the sport at some point, right? We get the information out there and we pass it along to the younger generation, and hopefully at some point, people are doing the right things and doing things properly. Because that's all that matters, man. Like, again, becoming a professional athlete. This is awesome. Damn.
How funny. Oh no. Oh, but I'm sorry. It's easy to cut you off.
Rules of the world. That right there. I'll let that one go over your head.
How funny. But so take your time. Sorry, my cat's an asshole.
Cat over here. Cock blocking. She didn't like that one. Yeah, take your time. Like I said, like the plans to do it forever, and like I said, like passing knowledge down to the next generation is again why we acquire all this information and knowledge to make sure that the people after us are doing the right things.
So sketched out. He was like, yo, how funny. Hell yeah. Actually, I have one more question before we end this. You're a Christian man, right?
I am.
How do you think your faith plays a role in the way that you kind of see bodybuilding and treat yourself?
Well, I mean, like I said, it's like everything, the mindset. I think it's important to have some type of faith base behind you, because the same way that it, like, these questions can hurt you when it comes to like, why am I doing this? Maybe I should quit. Having some type of faith-based balance and something to lean on is what pushes you through as well, right? Mm-hmm. Where in some instances if you don't have it, you just quit. And then you're just kind of like flowing, you know what I mean, day by day, just kind of getting to the next thing that accepts you. For me, being a Christian, it says you can have what you want, you know, and as long as I know that I'm doing correctly and not actually out here, you know, using the faith in the word for bad, that I'm good, you know, I'm protected in that sense. So I'm always not only hope that what I'm doing is acceptable to my family and my kids, my mother, but also under those lights of being a Christian as well.
For sure, man. That's that's very commendable. I think more people need to open their mind to, living further than themselves.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
Is there anyone else that you want to shout out or anything, man?
Yeah, I always forget to shout out my clients.
Hey.
I got some of the best clients and dedicated people out there.
Hell yeah.
They've been with me for a long time. Even my new ones, I appreciate all of those people. The gym that I train out of, Achieve Fitness, they've held me down since day one. So I appreciate them. My wife, my kids, obviously. The podcast, you, man. I appreciate you guys having us over here.
Of course, bro. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, in Pueblo, Colorado, they've supported me. This is, like I said, my hometown, and I've got nothing but love. So I appreciate everybody that's supported me now, especially with this injury and on the road to getting back to where I left off. So I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you guys for having us here.
Hell yeah, man. Of course, much love. Thank you so much for your time, bro.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. Jordan Tripp. This has been Street Champs. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.